We're back,
Yeah, we are.
man. All in 2024.
What a damn show.
What a damn show. So damn good.
I think from top to almost bottom, which we will talk about, this
Yep.
had a lot of the best matches of the year.
Oh, easy. There's, at least in my book, I would say like three match of the year contenders on this pay per view
Yes, sir.
easily.
And we're going to get into all of them. We're going to get into the goods, the bads, the frauds, the stars, everything in this episode of Off the Top Rope.
And the kind of ugly that happened.
Man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man, damn good show.
We got a lot to talk about, so I think we're going to get right into it.
Okay, start us off, man.
We are going to start on the pre-show because this was a very good pre-show. After about 45 minutes of them bigging up the matches, making sure that we're good, we got to hear from Taz. We got to hear from Madison Rayne. It was nice to hear from her again. It was nice to hear from Taz. We got into our first match, which was a 16-man tag team match.
Hell yeah.
So the people who were in this were Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Zay, Dark Order, which is Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Jay Lethal, Ari Davari, Big Satnam Singh.
Big Sat.
He made the trip, and Anthony Ogogo versus 60-man tag. It's a lot of people in here versus Tommy Billington, the Dynamite Kid, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Top Flight, Darius and Dante, Action Andretti, and Leo Rush.
Okay.
This was a really fun match. I'm not going to break this whole thing down. There's only one specific part that I kind of want to talk about, which was David versus Goliath. Leo Rush versus Satnam Singh. They had their little interaction during the match, and boy howdy was that funny. Leo tried to chop him, wasn't working. He had to chop really high up, like he was chopping above his head to get to his chest, and it was just funny to see. Then Leo tried to hit him with a splash, didn't work. Nothing worked because Big Sat. He saved the Casino Gauntlet. He used a little bit of his energy here, but is what it is.
Okay. Yeah. But I think Leo Rush is like 5'5", 5'4".
Yeah,
So
something like that.
Satnam Singh's like 7'1" or something like that, 7'2".
Like a legit 7'2" or 7'3".
Yeah, like a legit over 7 feet tall, legit. So the visual is good. There's also the other spot too where they did a Brody Lee thing. Rest in peace, Brody Lee.
Rest in
But
peace.
they did the thing where they threw the numero uno and Sanjay Dutt threw the papers at somebody.
Yeah, that is true.
I got a kick out of that.
That was a good match. Dante ended up pinning Ari Davari for his team to win. I'm not gonna go through the whole team again. A lot of people, but
Yeah.
the team of Top Flight team won the match.
Okay.
It was just a really good match to get a bunch of people onto the card. This is something that we were missing last year because last year's All In, it was kind of limited. They had a couple people wrestle twice. Here also, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, that's really it. You got anything for this match before we move on?
No, it's that I'm glad they did that match. It's kind of like New Japan does in the Tokyo Dome every year, where it's like whoever doesn't have like a main match on the card, that I think it's like that first hour, 2 hours, they try to get as many people on the card as possible, and so they can be there, so they can experience it too.
Yeah, they'll have
So
sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, they'll have like a tag team, and then they'll have like a little rumble. Get a bunch of people on the card. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, just to get a bunch of people on the card. So I think that's good. That's a good thing. I think they should carry that over on those big cards every year. I think that would just be good. It gets all the talent revved up, hyped up. Like a big stadium like that. It sucks if you're not on there and you have to like stand by and be at home or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad it happened.
There were a couple people who kind of were stuck at home this year, but we won't talk about that. We also are going to hold off on the announcements until we're done with the pre-show, because those announcements, we kind of want to talk about them kind of all back to back, because they're all kind of hype. I'm not going to lie.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we got our mixed tag match. Basically, the only match that was kind of built on the pre-show was Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway, who did his finest Michael Jackson impression, versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii.
Big Tom
Versus Big Stoke.
Big Stoke. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
Big Stoke had he had a nice spine buster, dude.
Bro, I don't know if you saw Collision the other day. I don't know if you watched it, but he threw that spine buster out there also. Bro, yeah. That's a grade A spine buster. It's really good.
He got a good spine buster, man. And you know what? Because the last time he had to get in the ring too. That guy, he's real good at taking bumps, man.
Yeah, he is. You can tell he trained.
Yep, for sure. But God damn it, you didn't win, Stoke.
I know.
You son of a bitch.
We knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we knew.
But just to spice up, make it a little bit of fun. Yeah. To start, Stokely Hathaway came out on the bed from Remember the Times from the Michael Jackson video. He was dressed like Michael Jackson from the Michael Jackson video. Top-notch gear, by the way. Fantastic. Statlander also came out in like a Remember the Times kind of color gear. It was kind of gold. It was nice. Willow and Big Tom, Tomohiro Ishii, they were also dressed alike. So it was like a real like tag team match, which was really nice. Willow and Kris started the match after Stokely tagged himself out because Stokely was very scared to wrestle Tomohiro Ishii, which valid.
Good.
Willow and Kris, they kind of went at it for a little bit. Again, I'm not going to go fully into it. Eventually, Stokely Hathaway got the tag, which means Ishii came in. Kris came in and was throwing elbows at Tomohiro Ishii, staggered him with one, which I'm not surprised. She got him one, threw him into Stokely, and Stokely hit that spine buster on Ishii, which was hype, but did not work on Ishii. Ishii got right up immediately.
Yeah, he no-sold that spine buster. He popped right back up. And Stokely was like, oh, shit. And, pretty much, like right after that, Stokely started going towards the corner. And then he did a drop toe hold to Ishii. And, Ishii fell into the corner. And then, as Stokely was taunting and cheering and shit, Ishii wrecked him.
hit him with that forearm to get the pin.
Yeah.
So now Willow gets to pick the stipulation for Willow Nightingale and Kris Statlander at All Out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's cage match. Something. It's going to be some kind of death match or cage match.
I guess without getting into it, at the we got a little backstage thing with Willow, like after, like how AEW's been doing that lately. Willow was very excited about the win, and then Kris Statlander attacked her with a chain. So that might have something to do with what Willow's gonna pick for the stipulation in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
We will talk a little bit about Dr. Martha Hart. She came out to wish luck to Mariah May and Bryan Danielson, which low-key kind of worked, I guess. But we will talk about that as we go. She also kind of got a rocky start with the UK crowd. She was like, "Oh, I'm from Canada, and we work with the US," and they booed Canada and the US, which, again, valid. Only to get them back just to wish Danielson and Mariah May good luck in their matches tonight.
Oh, she should have known that was going to happen.
Yeah, she looked a little nervous. I mean, like 50,000 people. It's definitely hard to talk in front of a bunch of people to begin with, but you have 50,000 people, and after the first sentence they start booing you, you can kind of get a little nervous. I get it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Next up, we have 10-man tag team action.
Yes.
With let's see. I will do the other team first because it's going to be a lot easier. The Cage of Agony, which is Bishop Khan, Toa Leona, and Brian Cage, versus and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus Dustin Rhodes, which is one half of the tag team champions for Ring of Honor and 1/3 of the 6-man tag team champions for Ring of Honor, with Sammy Guevara, which is another half of the tag team champions. The Von Erichs, what is it? Marshall and Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy Guevara and my boy Katsuyori Shibata.
Oh, nice.
It was a very good match. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I feel like this one was like low key, like the weakest match on the pre-show. But
yeah.
Team Von Erichs got the win. The Cage of Agony and the Undisputed Kingdom decided to try to jump them after the match. Kevin Von Erich was out there. He got in the ring, and they all put claws on the Cage of Agony and the Undisputed Kingdom, and everyone got a happy ending. We were all very excited to see the Von Erichs. We were all excited to see Dustin. We were all excited to see Shibata, and then Sammy was there, and that was it.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Any thoughts on that match?
Oh, no, I think it was cool. I think Brian Cage and Sammy Guevara should have communicated better, though.
Yeah, this is one of, funny enough, 2 times where 2 opponents were wearing similar gear.
Yeah.
At least they mentioned it in the ring. Like when they tagged in and were against each other, they kind of pointed at each other, which was funny. But yeah, y'all should think about that for next time.
Yeah, maybe Sammy next time be Deadpool, because Brian Cage actually got Wolverine on lock.
And it was the fact that this isn't the first time that Brian Cage has also worn Wolverine gear.
Yeah,
like his finishing move is called the Drill Claw. I mean, Come on, let him have it.
Yeah, he likes Marvel, dude. Come on.
Mm-hmm. So that was the last match of the pre-show, but we had 20 minutes left, which was suspicious.
Yeah, real suspicious.
So while the winners of the 10-man tag were walking out, Soraya's music hit, and everyone was kind of surprised. It was like, "What? Soraya's not booked? What's going on? Why is she here?" So Saraya comes out with her whole family. They go to the ring, and Saraya is very upset that she is not on the card. She is ranting and raving, calling herself the unproblematic queen, and she demands respect, and she said that she is not leaving this ring, and Allin will not start without getting her respect. So we were like, oh no, what's happening? And then a very familiar theme hits, which I was listening to right before I hopped on this podcast. My girl, Jaimie Hayter, has returned. Finally.
Yeah. Thank the heavens.
She came out. She was swagged out like she always is swagged out. The UK, London, Wembley Stadium was rocking when she came out. They were so happy. I was so happy. That was point 1 where I almost lost my voice. And she went out there and she took care of Soraya's whole family and Harley Cameron. Beat the brakes off of all of them.
Yes. By design.
and Jaimie Hayter was stance up. She looked great. She looked like she's slimmed down a little bit too, which she was already kind of like strong, but she slimmed down. I can't wait to see her wrestle. Hopefully we get a match with her soon. But she looked damn good and damn crisp still in that ring, because she hit a couple of her moves. She hit the Haterade. Looked fantastic.
And I think the other thing too that I'm happy about, she's far away from Britt Baker.
Oh yeah,
like, super far fucking away from Britt Baker. We'll get into more of that later.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Jaimie's gonna be wrestling. She's gonna be doing a little thing with Saraya, who is also kind of on Fraud Watch. We will talk about Fraud Watch later, because I'm gonna surprise you some at the end of this podcast.
Oh shit!
Yeah, man. So it was nice to see her back. After we got like a little backstage thing with her, like on Twitter, and she said that she's just gonna let her actions speak now, which is going to be fantastic. She gonna wrestle at some point soon, either this Dynamite next week, but she gonna wrestle soon. I can't wait to see it.
No, you don't bring Jaimie Hayter out and not have a wrestle. Like, all in all intents and purposes, is the end, right? It's like the end of a season. We're going into the beginning of the season now.
Yep.
Everything after today is the beginning of a new season. So, yeah, I can't wait to see her in the ring, tear it up, and getting any of the title contentions. All the title contentions, all of them.
People have already kind of put on Twitter a match that we should be looking for, but we will get into that a little bit later.
Oh, I got about 10 of them in my mind right now.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, sir. So that was the end of the pre-show. It was a very good pre-show. Do you have any thoughts on pre-show before we get on to the main card?
I think the pre-show overall was great, man. Like, I'm glad to see Jaimie Hayter back. Welcome back. We missed you, and can't wait for you to start wrecking people again and get your title back eventually. Yeah, I think everybody. I'm glad for everybody that got to do the pre-show on the card on the big stage at the big stadium. It's great to see everybody get a piece of that.
Yeah, man, because they had a bunch of people in the stadium at that point already. Like, it wasn't jam packed yet, but they had a bunch of people in there, and the crowd was rocking for a majority of the night, pre-show included. It's great to see.
Yeah, there's only one point they weren't. Yeah.
Oh, we will get there.
Oh yeah.
So now we get to the main show, and we open with the London ladder match. That is the trios for the trios titles, which are the champions, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch, Luchasaurus. House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, Brody King. The Bang Bang Gang, which is Juice Robinson, Austin and Colton Gunn. And Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac.
We might as well call it the BCC. Because, yeah, I think Pac's part of the BCC now. I feel like it.
The Bastard Combat Club?
Yep.
That's yeah. There was a lot in this match. This was a really good opening match. We can't talk about every single spot that was in here, because there were a few. We had tables, ladders, and chairs. There was, at one point near the end, there was a big ladder that came out that Juice introduced, that when you stood it up, it was hitting the titles.
Yes.
God, it just was crazy.
And he got flung off of and hit in between the ropes.
Hopefully he's not worried about trying to have kids anytime soon, because that ain't happening.
Yeah, not this week.
There were a couple points where obviously people were interrupting getting the titles. One that was very interesting was very early in the match. Killswitch was very close to getting the titles, but he was stopped by Christian. Christian was like, no. I want this. And Christian climbed up, and that kind of stopped him. They probably would have won the match if he just would have let Killswitch do his thing at that point. Yeah. But,
Oh, man. Yeah. And if you guys have forgotten, I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about Nick Wayne, man. That dude's phenomenal.
That kid, man.
That kid's phenomenal. Like, he's starting to go off. He's starting to do his thing. He's starting to, they're starting to let him off the leash a little bit. That kid's not just good. He's like Osprey level good. Like, in a few years, like, more he's good because he's getting, tutelage and stuff like that from like some of the best wrestlers in the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's learning. You could tell he's learning every week and how he's doing his stuff and putting together his matches and things. But he's like he could easily be another Osprey.
Yeah, he really could. The kid's good. He had a couple like really, really good spots throughout the match. Like his placing wherever he was in the match was great. He is just a standout. He is fantastic.
Yeah, and yeah, mm-hmm. We're gonna see something incredible later this year. I know it.
Mm-hmm. At some point soon, he's really gonna break out. I think he's doing really good under Christian. This is like one of those scenarios where AEW is good at this a lot. There are a couple other people that don't do this well, but when AEW pairs a legend in Christian, because Christian is a goddamn legend, not going to take that disrespect from him anymore.
Oh no, none of it. We I'll just say this: we will not. There's certain people on this channel I ain't gonna hear that shit about. Hangman Page is one of them.
Yep.
And I'll say it every goddamn time. Hangman Page,
mm-hmm.
Swerve,
mm-hmm.
Christian.
Yep.
Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about any of them. And also Mercedes.
Yep.
I don't want to hear about Willow Nightingale. You guys gonna go fuck yourselves if you have anything bad to say or want to talk shit about any of them. They're like all fucking fantastic. Oh, and I'll also put Dustin Rhodes in that Legends category too.
Goddamn right.
You don't talk shit about Dustin Rhodes. I ain't gonna hear it.
When AEW pairs a legend and a youngster, it works out so well. We saw it with Sting and Darby. Like, mm-hmm. If you want to give a perfect example of how a mentorship should work, you can go Christian Cage and Nick Wayne on the heel side and Sting and Darby Allin on the babyface side. Straight up.
Oh, yeah, straight up.
There's another person I'm going to put on the fraud list on here pretty soon, but we will get there later.
Oh, no. I already know who it is.
This match ended with Pac going up the ladder and grabbing one of the trios titles. So the trios champions are Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. The BCC 2024.
Yep.
In a fantastic match. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
This match was great, man. It was a great opener. Yeah, no, there's not much else I can say. This was a great opener. It had a little bit of everything. It was you could see the hints of Luchasaurus about to come out, about to turn.
We'll talk about that a little bit more later too.
You're seeing the seeds being planted for that. There was just it was a lot of good stuff, man. Like, yeah, no, this match was great. It was like a certain person will say it was like one of those perfect car crash matches, like for right in the beginning, just to get the fans hyped up and stuff. And I think it was perfect.
Mm-hmm. This was such a fun match. The perfect opener. I think, honestly, after watching this match, I said what I said. I would have actually been okay with anyone winning with how they're wrestling. It was great. Just a great match from start to finish.
Yep.
Next match, which was I'm not gonna lie, definitely should have been on later in the card. We'll probably talk about that a little bit later too. But we got in the second match of the actual show, the AEW Women's World Championship match between Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot go through this entire match because this match was fantastic from start to finish. If you want a masterclass in in-ring storytelling, this is the match. People should use this match and study this match whenever they want to talk about a storyline and a perfect storyline for wrestling, because this is it.
Not just the match though. This is the end, right? Well, end-ish. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah.
Um, even the lead up. Watch the lead up into this match.
The entire storyline. Mm-hmm.
And then this match, because there's all the stuff, like everything. If you watch the lead up and then this match, you're gonna get all of it. So yeah, it's I just nothing bad I can say about it. It's like it's so good.
It was just a masterclass. Like Mariah May was kind of getting like a tweener reaction, like people were cheering and people were booing her when she came out. By the end of the shit, she made sure her hometown crowd hated her. She did such a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, like especially in England, what's the quickest way to have the British boo you? Slap your mom.
Bruh, she didn't just slap her mom. She slapped the goddamn taste. Like that looked like it was built for like 26 years. From the point that Mariah was born, she was holding on to that slap for this moment. Because that shit looked vicious.
It was like bam. I was like, oh shit.
I thought it was gonna be light. Cause when she looked at her, I thought it was gonna be like light. I didn't think she was gonna slap her, but she slapped the shit out of her.
Yep.
She was holding her face for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
There was a point where Mariah was getting very frustrated. She was busted open. She was low key crying at one point. Toni Storm gets the shoe that Mariah beat her with. Toni's right there. She could do it. She could just hit her, but she couldn't. She couldn't hurt Mariah in the same way that Mariah hurt her, and that ended up costing her, because we have a new women's world champion in Mariah May.
Yeah. That's I felt like for this whole storyline to be a thing, she wasn't gonna lose it. How it was built and everything like that, it was built for her to win it. And
yeah,
man, oh man, damn, that is such a good storyline and a good way to do it.
As much as I'm sad about Toni losing the title, she looked great in defeat. She made Mariah look fantastic in victory.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man. It's just like you said, this is a straight masterclass. If you were to teach wrestling, this is one of the storylines I would use to teach someone how to have a perfect storyline from beginning to, we'll just say end for right now. I don't think it's over, but from beginning to end, this is the storyline. You want to make people invested. You want to find out how to make a perfect heel. Mariah May now looks like a top heel in the division. Like, it's fantastic.
Yes, and she does it without how you say, like, should say it for later, but fuck that. She does it without trying to be Miss Mean Girl, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she did it in a it's gonna sound weird when I say this, in a pro wrestling sense.
Mm-hmm.
She made you hate her, because of the actions that she's doing, not because she's talking down to somebody. It's the actions, the villainy, the actual villainy that she did is what made people hate her. So yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm. It just I can talk really good about this match for the rest of the night, because this is probably if it was on a different card, this could have been the match of the night. This also, we got to talk about this. This was on second and this should not have been the second match on the card. This should have gone on later.
Actually, you know what? I was looking at it, and I had, initially I had the same thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for them to be able to have all the time to tell this story, because you knew at the end they were going to give Danielson and Swerve all the time they needed, right?
Right.
So for them to get this whole story out and this whole match out, it was better for them to do it early. Like they could take the time off of some of the matches, of some of the other matches, like Casino Gauntlet or something like that, which they probably did. I don't know. But yeah, it could have been later in the card in front of a certain instead of a certain match, but I'm concerned that they wouldn't have got the time.
I don't know, man. I feel like AEW would have done what they needed to do, because listen to this run. All right, we're not going to go to those matches yet, but listen to this run. If this run would have happened near the end, right? So we start with MJF versus Will Osprey. Then you go to Mariah May and Toni Storm. Then you go to the coffin match between Darby and Jack Perry. Then you go to the world title match.
Yep.
That would have been an undefeated run. And while I think you're right. I think they probably wouldn't have gotten as much. You know what? I'm pretty sure they would have found a way to give them the time that they needed. But
right.
I don't know, man. I just this storyline was too perfect to be the second match. Like there's a lot of things that you could worry about by putting this later. But once we get to the other match, this one definitely should have been near the end.
Yeah, but I agree. But this guaranteed the time. Like, this guaranteed the time.
Yeah. We'll see.
And it was still like one of the best. When I said in the beginning there was a bunch of match of the year candidates, this is one of them. Mm-hmm. By far.
I mean, we'll see where this goes. We can't change the match. We can't change the match card now. No matter what, this was easily a top 3 match on this card.
Oh,
Easily. You have any more thoughts before we move on to another match?
Oh God. Well, before we go to the other match, I just want to say this match was, oh man, it was so good. It was so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad the ladies went out there and just put on a damn show. That's how you do it. And it was excellent. All around excellent. Mariah May, Toni Storm, I applaud both of you. You guys are awesome.
I can't wait to see how they run this back, because I want this run back. It doesn't have to be anytime soon. You can let it simmer, but we're going to need that run back.
Good. Well, Mariah May read Toni Storm's eulogy.
Did you see Toni's backstage thing at the end? Was her just walking out of the arena, like in her wrestling gear still? Like, after she lost the match, she was kind of like laying in the ring. She ended up getting up and she was kind of like walking out, but kind of dancing a little bit. But you could tell that she was like distraught, like something had cracked in her mind again. And at the end, she just hopped a guardrail and just walked out of Wembley Stadium in her wrestling gear. She just dipped.
Yep.
So I am very excited to see where this goes.
Yep. We're gonna get a crazier Toni Storm. That's what we're gonna get.
Oh God. Next match. I'm going to try to be nice at first before we go into this match. It was the FTW Championship match under FTW rules versus, it was Chris Jericho versus Hook.
Yes.
Chris Jericho comes out and we have to hear Fozzy.
Yeah.
Mistake number 1.
Well,
go ahead.
Live band, You already know what's going to happen. I told you. All every person that had a live band had the same result. Just gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna break down this match a lot because honestly, there's not really a ton to break down. Hook had to go 3 versus 1 basically the entire match because it was FCW rules. That means there's no disqualification. Immediately, Big Bill, who is over his shit in the UK, man can do nothing wrong in the UK, and Brian Keith just kind of hopped in the ring and they just were fighting Hook the entire match basically.
Yeah.
After a bunch of weapons, after a bunch of things, Taz got up and he said, "I'm sick of this shit." He didn't say that, but I felt it.
He pretty much said that.
Yeah. He got up, he put on the Taz mission onto Brian Keith.
Yep.
Hook did the red rum in the ring. Jericho tapped out. Brian Keith tapped out. We had a father-son moment, and Hook won the FTW championship in front of a crowd that only really gave a shit about Taz and Big Bill.
The Big Bill thing is hilarious to me.
It is.
He got Big Bill got a better reaction than Jericho.
Yeah, he did.
2 nights in a row.
Cardiff
Collision.
loved him. Yep.
Collision and Allin.
Big Bill could do nothing wrong, and it was hilarious. Like, Big Bill was trying to be an asshole. He was doing whatever he could to get them to boo him, and it just was not working.
Nope. No, they were like, "We still love you, Big Bill."
I am curious if this is gonna travel to the States, because you know that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
This could be a possibility where where they go. I think they're in Champaign, Illinois on Wednesday. If Jericho was there is a potential to where the crowd just cheers Big Bill like they were in the UK, and they have to switch some shit up.
Yeah. They'll probably do it. I just think it's hilarious. They just love Big Bill. I don't know I don't know why. It's cool. If it does carry over, I am curious to see what comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of does need to be. He works better with a group with a mouthpiece. He's one of those guys that could go, like at the end of it or something. Just somebody's talking. That's why him and Enzo was like the perfect pairing at that time. But I think I'm real curious to see. But overall, this match wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad. Was it like great like some of these other matches? Oh no. It should have been on 0. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a few things that happened, like Jericho brought out the cricket balls. And then Hook was trying to hit the cricket balls at Jericho, and he kept missing, so he just started throwing them at him. Throwing it at him and Big Bill.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it. Just started tossing. And, he started beating up everybody with the cricket bat. But, yeah, it was just, like an okay match. It wasn't the best. Compared to like all the other ones, but it did what it was supposed to do. And you know what? I'm a long fan of Taz, so seeing Taz put the Taz mission on Brian Keith, I was, I popped on that. So I was like, yeah, you can't get out of that Taz mission.
No one can.
No. If he would have suplexed Brian Keith, I would have lost my shit though.
I don't think Taz's back was gonna have anything for a suplex, especially on the floor. I don't think that would have happened. It would have been dope, but I think his suplex machine days are long over.
Oh yeah, they're long gone.
But yeah, you're right. The match wasn't bad. The crowd definitely did not care about this match, but that's kind of where we've been with this Chris Jericho thing. Chris Jericho's last few feuds have all kind of ended this way, where people just did not give a shit about what was going on. Yeah. And yeah, they leaned into it. Everyone's leaned into, oh yeah, I'm learning tree. I know everything, blah, 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 blah. But let's be real. The reason he had to do this is because his last few feuds were ended like this, where they were too long and no one cared about what was going on.
Right.
And Jericho, I'm not trying to disrespect Jericho. Jericho is one of those legends. Jericho, at one point, was one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Jericho, still to this day, knows what the fuck he is doing. But something needs to change with Jericho. I don't know if it's like taking some time away. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. But Jericho definitely needs to reinvent himself. If he wants to do the learning tree thing, I think he still can. But yeah, something needs to change.
I think like just a little timeout for a little bit. That would probably do wonders. But if he continues the learning tree thing, I think he just needs to cycle people out. Right? Like certain things happen, and it's like, oh no, you guys are shit. I'll just take you out. And then those guys like go on and be like whatever, better single stars or something like that. You're out of the Jericho vortex, and once they get out of the vortex, they're better.
Yeah.
That could be like a theme. And then he brings other people in, and then it'll be the constant theme. Every time he brings somebody in, they just become his little minion and henchman, and they're like okay, but they're not great. And then when he kicks them out, they're like all of a sudden like way better.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, but
yeah, it has to be something. Like they have to think of something. Well, the main thing they need to do is make sure these Jericho feuds do not go on for as long as they do.
Yes.
Like no matter what, like this was like what 6-7 months.
Yeah, like if this was in a game and you have 3 months or 6 weeks and you have Jericho in it, you put the 6-week one, which is the minimum.
Yeah. But overall, match was decent. Hook won. Hook is now back to where he was this time last year. I don't know what they're gonna do with him now at this point either. But yeah, he also needs to do something. Maybe like a Continental Classic run. Something like Danny Garcia, because Danny Garcia was in that and he flourished. Hook will probably be really good in that spot also. But Hook definitely needs some he needs something. He also needs a mouthpiece. Someone talk for him.
Yeah, like when he was with Samoa Joe, I think that was like him, Samoa Joe and Shibata was like the perfect pairing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because Samoa Joe can talk. And he can fuck people up. So it was like BCC number 2. They were just like, they could just go around and legit stretch people.
Damn Twisted Metal.
Hey, I love that show.
But yeah, that's all for that match. We will move on to the AEW World Tag Team title match between the champions, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, FTR, and the Acclaimed. This match overall was a very good match. We said it was gonna be really good. Everyone knew it was gonna be a really good match. Funny enough, the Bucks kind of carried this, which is funny. I thought it was gonna be like between more than the Bucks and FTR, but overall, still a great match. The Young Bucks still have it whenever they want to do it. They came out with their mustaches. They look great. The Acclaimed and FTR both had pink on, which is another example of people trying to talk. This one, the Acclaimed kind of always wears pink, so FTR kind of should have let that one go. I know they were doing like the Bret Hart thing, but kind of let that one go.
Or they should have just did the reverse. because the Heart Foundation had primary black, secondary pink, and then they had secondary pink. Secondary pink. No, secondary black, primary pink. They should have just reversed it.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go too far into the match. This one's definitely one I feel like people should watch. Honestly, people should watch the whole card, but this one was pretty good. At the end, the Bucks ended up winning the match. Low key, kind of surprising a little bit. I definitely thought the FTR was gonna take this one, but FTR did win last year. The exciting thing though is after this match, James Drake and Zach Gibson, the grizzled young vets, come out and they go eye to eye with the Bucks. And the Bucks are like, you know what? I'm scared. I'm gonna leave. So they dip out of the ring, and the grizzled young vets, attack FTR. And told Cash to grit your teeth. And I don't know what they call the move, but they're high-low.
Yeah.
Cash looked like he was fucked up, because at the end, he was outside, he was holding on to his neck. I was like, ooh. Ooh.
The dude that did the clothesline hit him fucking hard, dude.
That's Grizzly Young Vets, bro. That's what they do.
Yeah, and guess what?
What?
They're all elite.
Oh, finally. We've been waiting for this one for a while.
Yeah, same here, man. Like those guys are dope as hell. Like, yeah, they're a tag team that needs to be in AEW.
But now we're at a point now where I think, and I'm hoping, and I'm gonna be very positive. I'm gonna go against what I normally do, because I'm normally very pessimistic. The Bucks winning this match, I hope this means that now they will wrestle a little bit more. We got the Grizzly Young Vets. We have MXM Collection. We have Top Flight. We have Private Party. We have a lot of tag teams right now that are not FTR and not the Acclaimed that the Bucks can be doing a lot of work with.
Yeah. Well, shit. You could add the not the undisputed, but just Taven and Bennett to that too.
Taven Bennett. Yeah, I didn't even list them. But there are a lot of tag teams that they have right now that could do well wrestling against the Bucks or having little feuds themselves to get tag team title shots.
You know what I want to see?
What's up?
I want them to have another tag team tournament.
Ooh, that'd be good. And the winner gets to face the Bucks at like Grand Slam in a couple weeks?
Yeah, Grand Slam or shit, All Out, something.
All Out. Yeah, something. It would be nice to get something, because we do need a tag title match for All Out. And what's nice this year, it's not 2 weeks, it's not like a week, it's not next week. We have a couple weeks so we can do something. There's 4 shows in between.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they could for sure do it with. So they could do one on Dynamite. Yeah, they could do a couple matches on Dynamite, one on Rampage, a few like shit. They could literally do all the like most of the matches on Collision. Just make that a whole tournament fucking episode. You know, you got 2 hours, so yeah.
Yeah. They really could. Oh, you know what? I forgot to talk about the announcements.
Oh.
So I guess now would be a good time. We'll take a break right here, and we'll talk about a couple of the announcements that they had before we get into the Casino Gauntlet. AEW is going worldwide next year.
Mm-hmm.
On February 15th, which is a Saturday, which means this is most likely going to be a pay-per-view. They are doing a Grand Slam show, which they normally do in September, but they're doing it in Australia.
Ooh.
It's in the Suncorp Stadium. So they are running a stadium show. They're running a stadium show in January, because they'll be doing a Wrestle Dynasty on the 5th, January 5th.
Uh-huh.
And in February 15th, they're running a stadium in Australia.
Okay. That's good, man. You know, for a show to not have a TV deal, they sure are getting some big houses going, huh?
Yeah, they run some big stadiums.
Yeah.
Crazy. Because they're also doing All in Texas, which was announced earlier. I think we talked about that a little bit. But they're doing that in Arlington. We're going to that. I don't know how. Actually, no, I do know how. Because I've been to Arlington a couple times now. I know how to get some cheap flights over there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Live podcast in Arlington.
Hey. You never know what can happen.
Exactly. And they did one more announcement, which I think we already talked about, but it was officially announced today, where they are doing Forbidden Door in London.
Yep.
They didn't say what venue yet. I'm hoping either the O2 Arena, because I really like the O2 Arena over in London, or the Copper Box, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Copper Box isn't huge, but Copper Box is like a dope place. So it's probably not going to be Copper Box, but it would be dope if we had something there.
Yeah. And if it's Wembley again, don't do it near a Taylor Swift show. Stay away from that girl, man.
I guess the nice part about it is they got to use a little bit of that stage for it. Yeah. So I guess that's nice. They definitely could have sold more tickets otherwise, but it's still 50. What they had 52,000 people.
Yep.
That's still pretty damn great. But
yeah.
Yeah. So AEW, a company that is said to have been dying, and a company that has apparently no TV deal, is running a lot of stadiums next year.
Oh yeah, for people that don't know, that means your spending went up a little bit. You got something to spend, right? You're signing all this new talent. You're going to all these big places. You got something to spend because you got to buy out those venues. So, just saying.
I mean, we can also talk about another little announcement that kind of came up on this show. Wasn't really an announcement, but more of like someone signing a contract.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve
signed his AEW contract, and allegedly, 7 figures.
As it should be. He is a top guy. I ain't gonna hear no back talk.
There's a lot of talk right now about Osprey being the new face, because even they talked about a little bit in the post scrum, like they're talking about Osprey's the guy. Bro, I don't think it's that easy. I think Osprey is fantastic. I'm not doubting Osprey at all. I'm not saying that Osprey cannot be the guy. I'm not saying that at all, because he definitely can be. But I don't think it's so cut and dry as it's just Osprey now. They gotta swerve.
But it's never been that way, because look, all companies, right? You don't have. I don't know why everybody's stuck on just having one guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look throughout history, pro wrestling, right? I'll go to their favorite fucking company, WWE. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or back when it was WWF, when it actually was good. There was never just one guy. Nope. I don't give a fuck what you say. There was never one guy. So, you mean to tell me that Steve Austin did it by himself? No. Steve Austin had The Rock. He had The Undertaker. He had Bret Hart. He had Shawn Michaels. He had Triple H. He didn't do it by himself. There was 6 other motherfuckers there.
Yep.
There doesn't have to be just one guy, right? Like, maybe he was the top one getting asses and seats and stuff like that, but the other people had to be there for that to happen. It's pro wrestling. You need more than one person. That's why the other companies having problems right now, is because they only had one story and one person. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the greatness that is All In.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. You got Swerve, you got MJF, you got Osprey, you have Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe. You got so many people. Oh, and how rude am I forgetting the Ace, Jon Moxley, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, Adam Page.
I mean, you even go to the women's side. You have a Mercedes. Yeah. You have a Hikaru Shida. You have a Toni Storm. Now you have a Mariah May, who is a made woman right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a lot of people right now. So there's no reason why there should just be one person considered the face. Why do you think Swerve allegedly got a 7-figure deal today? Like, I mean, come on. It takes a village. You can't. There is no Hiroshi Tanahashi. There is no one person anymore that will strap a company on their back and save them from the deaths, like Tanahashi did. No one should do that. Look at Tanahashi now. Like you can't put your whole future on one person. It takes a village. Actually, this is a good time for us to move over to our next match on the actual card.
Okay, what was that?
The Casino Gauntlet.
Ooh.
Okay. So I'm gonna run through this quick. I'm not gonna say everything that happened in this match because it is too incredible. What I will instead do is I will list out the order of entry.
Okay.
And then we can talk about it. We can talk about it right after. Entrant number 1, Orange Cassidy. He won the chance to do that. Entrant number 2, Kazuchika Okada.
Yes.
We're like, what the fuck? That was crazy. Entrant number 3, Nigel McGuinness.
Yes.
Nigel got that kiss from Mariah during Mariah's match. Decided to put his shit back on and start wrestling again.
He was good.
He looked fantastic, bro.
Yeah, man. I am so happy he got back in the ring, man, and also fulfilled the dream of wrestling at Wembley. He looked good, and he was getting the rust off a little bit in the beginning, but after he did, my boy was rolling.
It took him. He looked a step slow for like the first minute and a half. Right after that, man showed you why he was a demon in the ring.
Oh, man. Listen. Anybody that doesn't know about Nigel McGuinness, look his Ring of Honor matches up. Just look him up in Ring of Honor. That's all I'll say. Because that boy, he was like, there's no shit you. He was one of the best wrestlers in Ring of Honor. Like, one of the greatest wrestlers in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Like, he's up there with Danielson and all them. He is ridiculously good.
Speaking of Danielson.
Yeah.
Tony Khan. I know you're listening. What's up? Give us the match. We'll talk about it more later.
Oh no.
Give us the match. After Nigel McGuinness was Kyle O'Reilly, entrant number 4. Entrant number 5, Zack Sabre Jr.
ZSJ. I popped.
7 days after winning the G1, Zack came out, swagged out, looked insane walking down that long ramp. He looked like he belonged there. I'm just saying.
No, dude. Dude, he I know he's gonna be in New Japan for the longest time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he's committed to New Japan. But man, if he ever left New Japan, I already know he's going to AEW.
God.
That's like he looks right in AEW. It doesn't look like he's off. It doesn't look like he literally looks like he's part of the roster.
Yeah, he does. But he's gonna win that IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in October. We'll see him around. You know they're doing Forbidden Door in London. They're doing Wrestle Dynasty. We're gonna have some AEW people on Wrestle Kingdom the day before that. We're gonna have a lot of chances to see Zack in AEW. But for right now, y'all go ahead and watch that hot New Japan. Y'all go watch the boy over there for right now.
Yeah, watch the boy, and if you listen to this channel, your boys are big fans of ZSJ.
Yes, sir.
That's one of our guys.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to win that title from Naito, bro. Oh, anyway. Let me let me put,
Wait, get back on stuff.
lock in. The next entrant after ZSJ was Roger Strong. Then we had Mark Briscoe. Then we had Hangman Adam Page. Hangman. We will talk more about things after. But after Hangman was Jeff Jarrett. After Jeff Jarrett, we had a debut in Ricochet.
Yes.
Came out there and did his thing also. After Ricochet was Christian Cage. Pulling double duty.
Asshole.
And
of course that asshole would put himself in that match.
You knew he would. I didn't know he was going to. I was gonna say you knew he was going to. I definitely did not know he was going to. But he just Christian Cage, the legend you are. He took a second when he was walking. He was limping down for a minute, and when the camera came off him, he came back and he was walking again like normal.
He's so good, man.
And the final person to come out was Luchasaurus. And I'm going to say Luchasaurus because he came out as Luchasaurus.
Yes.
We will get more into the match now. We had a lot of really great face-offs between this. We had obviously number 1 and number 2, Okada and Cassidy face-off. We had a face-off between Nigel McGuinness and Zack Sabre Jr., which was insane, by the way. Like, 2 of the 3 from the last 2 generations to define British wrestling. And all 3 of them, by the way, were on this card. But 2 of the 3 were stacked against each other. They had like a little moment. It was fantastic. We had Hangman coming out there and almost beating up Karen Jarrett. We had Ricochet out there showing why he's all elite.
Wait. And you want to know something?
What? Let me know.
Okay. He had that look on his face. And there's other people that have had that look on their face when they got into AEW. Jon Moxley had that look.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Cage had that look.
Yep.
Edge had that look.
Yep.
Or Adam Copeland. Let's call him Adam Copeland. He had that look. But when they got to AEW and they came out for the first time, there's 2 things. Relief, and then they're like, fuck yeah, I'm happy to be here. I want to be here. This is where I'm supposed to be. And he had that look the whole match.
Bro, he looked so happy. He really did.
Yeah.
There's like we've talked about this before. The reason why it's great to have multiple companies that are running big things is so you can have people that belong where they need to be going to where they need to be.
Yes.
Like we talked about Ethan Page. Ethan Page is doing fantastic in NXT.
Yep. He's doing great.
If Ricky Starks leaves, Ricky Starks is going to be fantastic in WWE and NXT. Ricochet is going to do great things in AEW.
Yes.
This is the time to be happy because people are going where they want to go and people are able to make money doing what they love to do.
Yes. That's the whole thing. More places to make money, more wrestlers are happy, the better the matches you get.
Yep. People are already being dickheads to Ricochet on Twitter. This message is to y'all. Go outside. Live a life. Get off Twitter. It ain't that serious. Let wrestlers go where they want to go. Even if you're sad they go to a company that you don't watch, be happy that they're there because they're probably making more money than they were at the previous company.
Yeah. Just, why are you going to be stop that tribalism shit? Just stop it.
Exactly. To get into the end of this match, Christian Cage comes out. He's kind of doing his thing a little bit. Luchasaurus comes out, but he comes out as Luchasaurus. The crowd pops. The crowd goes crazy because he even has like his Luchasaurus music and everything. Mm-hmm. So everyone's like, "Oh, it's finally happening!" Because at the end of the ladders match, Christian was yelling at Killswitch Luchasaurus. So everyone's like, "It's happening! He's finally gonna do it!" Only for Luchasaurus to knock out Kyle O'Reilly and drag Christian onto him, for Christian Cage to win the guaranteed AEW World Title shot.
Oh my God.
When I tell you I was shocked, flabbergasted, bamboozled, whatever other synonym, that is what I was. Christian Cage was one, I didn't even expect him to be in this match to begin with. And two, if you would have told me anyone other than Hangman was winning, I would have bet you my entire life savings and my house, and I would have lost.
You know something? So here's something hilarious.
What you got?
If we were gonna look at the card, actually, if we were to look at our pre-show, I did fill in the all the stuff, the actual winners and stuff like that. I filled that in.
Oh, nice, thank you.
At one point in time, you had the field on there.
I did.
And the field won.
I am annoyed at myself, to be honest. But it is what it is. I mean, that's how pick'ems go. But like I said, if you would have told me anyone other than Hangman was winning, I would have called you insane.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it more after he won the match, and that kind of sealed it for me that Danielson was winning.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I was like, you know what? This actually makes sense. It makes all kinds of sense.
Yeah, it does.
That promo, that next promo though, that Christian Cage does. Oh boy.
I think we forget too. Christian, literally since wrestling Swerve, has said that he is going to win the AEW World Championship.
Yes.
The reason he was in that match with Swerve to begin with was because he was doing a favor for the Bucks and for the Elite. Yep. And then before Christian even won the Trios titles, he said that he was going to use the Trios titles to get to the AEW World Championship. And it is a little weird. It didn't happen the way that I think people thought was going to happen. But Christian Cage really did. He's most likely going to be the next champion.
Maybe. We'll see.
And the thing, remember what we said a couple weeks ago when I said like, oh yeah, it's going to be a thing where you can cash in at any time. And then I took that back on our preview show.
Well, you didn't really take it back. It was more like unconfirmed.
Yeah. Now it is confirmed that it is whenever the winner wants. So right now, Christian Cage has a contract to have a world title match literally whenever he wants.
Man, I'll say it at the end when we get to the Danielson match.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. We've seen that story too many times. Danielson had that story happen to him already in WWE, but we will get there. We will get there.
I was scared. I thought another Josh Alexander thing was gonna happen.
But yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this match? We didn't really talk about a lot of things that happened in this match because a lot happened in this match. But do you have anything that you want to talk about or any thoughts?
My thoughts on congrats Ricochet for joining AEW, becoming all elite. Glad to see you where you belong. I know you're gonna do awesome things. And just so you guys know, he has a match on Dynamite against Kyle Fletcher. That match is gonna be fucking fire. So they're already going in. They're going in full speed. It's probably going to end up with towards the end, going to end up with a match against Osprey, and it's going to just set, it's gonna blow up everybody's minds. So so there's that. Nigel McGuinness, congrats, man. It was great seeing Nigel McGuinness in the ring again, doing his thing, and and in front of his home crowd too. It's just there's nothing better than seeing that. Just literally seeing somebody's original dream come true. So, yeah, a great match. I enjoyed it a lot. I popped a lot this match, because there was a lot, just a lot of shit going on. The boy Roddy Strong did his thing. And the cult leader that you say, Mark Briscoe, was going crazy.
Yeah, it was.
He was going crazy that whole match. It was fucking awesome. So everybody did a good job, and I enjoyed it. And Hangman, where we go for here, man? Come on, you got this.
We gonna talk about it because
oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Hangman.
Yep.
But I think we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. My favorite main character, but yeah, we're gonna wait. But yeah, overall, fantastic. It was so much. It could have went so many different ways and went the way nobody thought, and I thought that was great.
We're going to the next match. The next match is for the AEW American Championship. Champion MJF against home country boy Will Osprey.
The assassin himself.
Officially now.
Yeah. NCO told us.
Yeah, he's not as an assassin.
Yeah.
Actually really awesome to see because Osprey told a story before we get into the match. Osprey told a story a little bit later in the night where when he was wrestling, when he was training, he was trying to find a gimmick, and he was told to find something that's relatable. Something that a lot of people enjoy. So he picked assassin, aerial assassin, and he's been that ever since. His a lot of his greatest matches, he was billed as the aerial assassin, and it is very cool to see, like how Nigel lived his dream. Will Osprey got to live a dream here to be an official assassin in the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah,
it's really dope. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, it's awesome. And man, I'm gonna say this again. Something I gotta say. For a company that doesn't have a TV deal, they really did just get a promotion and all that stuff with Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You know how fucking hard that is? It's pretty goddamn hard.
It's actually insane that this happened.
Yeah. Like, to get like a joint thing going with like Ubisoft and stuff like that. You know how hard that is?
Ubisoft don't want to work with nobody.
That's pretty damn hard. And to also give him the, like, one, get the voice actor for the NCO to read off the intro, which was, second I heard that, I was like, oh shit, that's NCO.
It was badass, bro.
Fucking love that shit. And then all of his gear was Assassin's Creed gear. And then, between talking about his promo and stuff like that, they were running like all this, all the stuff for the next Assassin's Creed and stuff like that too. And to be, kind of, have a little partner thing going with AEW. Yeah, no, like, that's pretty goddamn hard. And they did it. And I think that was so awesome.
It was.
Oh, and just for context, guys, both of us do work in the game industry.
Yes, sir.
So we actually do know how hard it is to get those partnerships.
Goddamn. If I could tell a story right now, I would, but I can't. I'm not allowed to.
Let's not.
MJF came out in he reminded me of Lex Luger a little bit.
Because it was Lex Luger gear.
Oh, it was Lex Luger gear? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I was off base. Okay. This match, man.
Say it, bro.
This, I'm not gonna say easily because I don't think it was easily. This is match of the night.
Woo!
Match of the night, and I don't say that lightly. I think we talked about Toni and Mariah. There's one more match that also could have been match of the night, which I might go back. I might say that one's match of the night when we get there. Also, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do in 2 minutes. So who knows? But it's just this match was great. This match surpassed their Dynamite match to me. I feel like this was a perfect match for these two.
Yeah, and you want to know? Here's the funny thing, right? People are like, "Oh, why would you have that 1 hour Dynamite match and not do it on the pay-per-view?" Well, good wrestlers can do a match like that and also build a story to do a match like this.
Yep.
Right? That can top that match. So stop complaining about all these, this random match here. No, the match had a purpose, and you got to see the end result. There was a whole story told this whole time, starting with that match. So, yeah, man, this was damn good.
Mm-hmm.
The story leading up to it, the story inside the match, them beating the shit out of each other. Especially on the apron.
we'll get into the near the end of it. Near the end, MJF and Will Ospreay had kicked out of everything from each other. MJF kicked out of the Stormbreaker. There was a point where MJF hit the Heat Seeker. There's a point where MJF did a pile driver, and it looked like Ospreay got spiked on his head.
Yes,
they were beating the shit out of each other. Eventually, MJF being MJF, he doesn't have the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I guess someone stole it. I guess someone stole the Dynamite Diamond Ring, which is a thing. I don't know how true that is, but he didn't have the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He had it looked like taped up brass knucks instead.
Yeah.
And he was about to hit Osprey, and then someone jumps up and stops him. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh shit, who is this? I thought it was going to be Kyle Fletcher. Honestly, that was my thought. The man takes off his mask, and it's fucking Daniel Garcia. Shaved head, Red Death Daniel Garcia.
Yep.
Returned to make sure that MJF couldn't do shit to Osprey. Osprey grabs him, yokes him up, yells out Tiger Driver, picks him up, drops him in, honestly, probably the safest Tiger Driver I think I've ever seen in my life. We don't have to talk about that, though. It was still a Tiger Driver. Pinned him for 10 seconds because the referee was outside. Got the 1, 2, 3. Osprey is your new, well, it was American champion. Osprey was about to take the belt, but he was like, oh, no, I don't want that. It's fucking gross. I don't want that piece of shit. So he didn't even touch the belt. He put his hands up. Christopher Daniels slid into the ring. He had a bag in his hand. He took out the bag. He took whatever was out of the bag, and it was the OG International Championship. So Will Ospreay is once again AEW International Champion.
Yes. Yes.
Your thoughts?
Okay, I got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia. So my first thought. I'm hoping he's gonna stay with AEW. Hopefully that's him showing up at Wembley is kind of like the indicator of that. Hopefully that is. So I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. MJF is one of the best wrestlers in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. He took that gimmick and he went crazy with it, and it was hilarious the whole time. But he also showed up everywhere and was doing the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
So good on that. The whole match was crazy. It was just, there was action back and forth, but anybody that says the guys don't sell or anything like that are fucking idiots.
Yeah,
This
man.
whole match, like Osprey was selling like a motherfucker. He was like, when he was getting hit with those big moves, he was down, he was out. MJF was doing it. You know, yeah, they have like a quick spot here and there, but man, they were. This is a damn good match. I remember if there's one match you watch from this card, this is probably one of the matches you should watch. You only have time to watch one. Watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
So damn good. Both guys, they went in. It was great.
In front of a very hot Wembley crowd. I've been on here. I said MJF is not top 5 in the company right now. While I still agree with that, I think not being top 5 in the company right now is not it's not an insult. Like I thought it was an insult before. To be great in this company now, I think you have to be within top 15, top 20. And that's where MJF solidly is. MJF is solidly in top 20 of wrestlers in AEW, which now always, but now definitely makes him a great. And we also got to remember MJF, he's like barely 27, bro. If that, I don't think he's 27 yet.
Well, in my opinion, I think he's top 10.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Very easily, he's one of the top 10 wrestlers in AEW, and that's including men's and women's. So out of all the pool of wrestlers,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's easily top 10. Like, there's nobody touching him on the mic, and he can wrestle his ass off. So, yeah.
There was a point during his title run where he definitely had to make people remember every match how great he was. And there was a point in that long title run that still went too long, where he was just doing a bunch of different things. Like we know he can wrestle a very good ground game. We saw him do dives. We saw him do flips. Today we saw him do something off the rope and land on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
MJF is phenomenal. And I know he has a lot of dumb shit around him. I know he says a lot of dumb things. But yeah, you can't deny how great MJF is. Shit, I was doing it and I was wrong. Like you can't deny how great MJF is. He is one of the best signings for AEW, and he has grown so well from where he was in 2019. Anything that he does, he's going to be able to turn to gold now. Him and Osprey had a fantastic thing. I can't wait to see what both of them do next. But yeah, just from a standpoint, this was two of AEW's best wrestlers just having a phenomenal match.
Yep, a phenomenal match, great feud, and they elevated each other the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a win-win, and I think we'll know in the next few days, right? But the next thing is probably going to be him and Danny Garcia going at it.
Oh yeah, MJF and Garcia is going to be great, I think.
Yeah, and if it's that, because not to get, don't want to get too far into the backstage stuff, but apparently Garcia is gone. Well, his contract is supposedly up in October. So runs past that, then we'll know something. So hopefully we'll hear that he's still all elite.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Next up, we got to talk about it. Next up is the TBS Championship match between champion Mercedes Mone and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
And the crowd runs cold.
I'm gonna get into this match a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit short because I know we're going to have a very, very long conversation about this match. But, and I'm going to try to be as neutral as possible to not lead into anything.
I'm not.
No, for this part, to talk about the match. Before we get into it. And by neutral, I mean this match was 80% Mercedes. 80% might be being very nice, to be honest. Yeah, Mercedes did a lot of the offense. Britt had a little bit there, here and there, but realistically, Mercedes kind of just beat Britt's ass, if we're gonna be honest. And like I said, I'm gonna try to keep it as neutral as possible for right now until I get into my opinion. My opinion is not neutral at all, but I think the thing that kind of got the crowd back into the match was Britt doing the old Eddie Guerrero. It didn't really work as well as people thought it was going to, because I think people just are not invested in Britt right now. But that kind of got them up. Either way, Mercedes kind of dominated the match. Mercedes hit the Mone Maker and scored the pinfall. That is the match. Like I said, I'm not going to get fully into it. Prophet, I'm going to let you go first, because you're going to also lay into this match. I will lay into this match, and we will talk about it. Your thoughts, Prophet.
Oh, Lord Jesus. With the crowd being so up this whole time, right? Like the crowd, even the Jericho hook match guy, you could still hear crowd, still hear the crowd, still hear the noise.
Yeah, it was something.
There was something there. Shit, Big Bill got a huge pop. Jeff Jarrett got a huge pop in the Casino Battle Royal also.
There were a lot of huge pops throughout this night, yeah.
There was a lot of them. This match ran cold because of Britt Baker. Everybody saw it was all one-sided. It was literally Mercedes doing everything.
Yeah.
And again, the thing that I said during our the preview show, our prediction show, I just hope Mercedes didn't get hurt. She didn't, thank God.
Well, she didn't, because she was the one doing all the offense.
She had to do all the offense and then do all the bumps. She literally did everything. Like, she had to set up everything. She had to do everything. Like, if this doesn't show you that Britt Baker isn't on the level of the rest of the women in the division, I don't know what does. Like, it's like we've been saying, Britt needs to either dedicate herself or just be in that fraud zone with Saraya, right? But even Saraya can wrestle better than Britt, so she can at least do something.
Yeah.
Britt Baker is not good. Not good at all in this match. And shout out to Mercedes Moné and Camille. For at least trying to make this match interesting. They literally carried the match. Yeah, it just wasn't good. There was just like some points where it was like everything Britt did looked awkward. It didn't look right. It didn't look good. The only thing I'll say for, Mercedes, right? I don't think that finisher works. Because it relies on somebody else too much. Right? Like, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for it to look good, both people need to be in sync. And is this one of those cases where both people weren't in sync and it looked fucking horrible because of Britt Baker?
The only other time I can remember the Mone Maker looking bad was the first time she used it against Kairi in the Tokyo Dome when she was introduced last year. Because I don't think Kairi knew what the move was. I don't know here and there, right? But it didn't look great there. Honestly, I can say this: at the very least, Britt made it look better than Kairi did at that point. But Kairi got hit with it again in the match. Looked fantastic.
Right. After she knew what it was, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to keep going down this road, but it's just Britt wasn't good. Mercedes carried the match. Britt needs more work. Like not a little work. She needs a ton of work. She needs to be on that show. It needs to be on something every week. Shit, she needs a sabbatical at Ring of Honor. She needs to go to Japan like Anna Jay is right now. She's gonna come back a beast.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to do something. She needs to dedicate herself more to wrestling. Hey, I don't know what you do, but if you are dedicating yourself like the rest of the people, or the rest of the women in division that are consistently doing it and doing it as their focus, and are we can all see are getting better and better and better and way better than you are, and you're just sitting here like this below average level or worse, there's a problem, and everybody has to carry you during these matches. Like, there's so many different people that could have been in your spot, and you took this damn Wembley spot ahead of somebody that could have made it, made a great match and a great story with Mercedes Mone.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we could have had the Sheeta Mone match for this instead of Mone and Britt.
I got very heated about that. Yes, I did.
So I just, all in all, it sucked because of one person, and that's Britt Baker. Mercedes Mone did everything she could to try to make that match good. She did everything in her damnedest, but you can only do so much with a person that sucks. So that's all I'm gonna say right there.
That was actually really nice. I'm not going to be that nice. I've been very mean to Britt for the last few weeks anyway. First off, we all owe an apology to Thunder Rosa. All of us.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Everyone needs to reach out to Thunder Rosa and apologize to her. There's a lot to say. I will try not to ramble for too long. Britt should not be wrestling. There's no Britt needs to work. For me, there's no Britt needs to do more work. Britt needs to go to Ring of Honor. Not for me anymore.
Yeah.
Britt does not need to be wrestling. If Britt does want to wrestle, then she can go do this. She needs to dedicate herself. She cannot do this shit anymore. This was the only match on the card that was bad. The only one.
Yes.
I talked shit about Hook and Jericho. The match was at least fun. The crowd was into the match. This, Mercedes is wrestling in front of 50,000 people, doing the best work that she has ever done. Only to have to literally carry and drag a child to a bad match. I can't think of a bad Mercedes match. I can't think of a bad Sasha Banks match. The worst one I can think of is Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. And those two have beef. Yeah. Those two don't like each other. And they had to wrestle each other. So it was sloppy because they didn't want to speak. They didn't like each other. I don't know what the fuck this was. At some point, we need to be honest about Britt Baker. And we have been saying on this podcast, a lot more people have been saying it over the last couple of weeks as well. So I'm not going to say how I always do it. This is what we were doing first. A lot of people have been talking about this lately. Britt cannot be in these spots. If you want this women's division to flourish, if you want to continue doing what it's been doing for the last 10 months, Britt cannot be in these kind of spots. Britt should not be wrestling in Wembley. Britt should not be wrestling in Australia. Britt should not be wrestling for Forbidden Door. Britt shouldn't even be wrestling for fucking Dynamite and Collision or Rampage. There's no excuse for Britt to be doing this. Britt has been signed to AEW for 5 years. Yes, she's coming back. Yes, this is her third match back. Jaimie Hayter throwing shots looked better than fucking Britt Baker. And Jaimie just came back today.
Yeah.
We need to be honest with ourselves at this point. AEW needs to be honest with themselves at this point. Britt should not have been in the spot to begin with. This match is a very awkward match in this whole Mercedes run at this point, when Mercedes is doing the best shit that she can. There was a question that Mercedes was asked in the press conference, not the dumb one about her divorce, but trying to rank Britt Baker as her opponent, and she said that that Britt was number one as her number one fan, so she got out of the question. We cannot have Britt Baker doing this bullshit anymore. There are too many women in the AEW roster. There are too many great wrestlers in the AEW roster to give such a big spot to someone who, quite frankly, doesn't seem like they give a shit about wrestling. She wants to be a mean girl. She wants to be an asshole backstage. It was working before. It got a lot of people to hate Thunder Rosa. This is bullshit. No more. I don't want to see Britt Baker on my TV anymore. I don't want to see Britt Baker anywhere until she gets better. And at this point, I don't believe that she even wants to get better. She's going to do this. She's going to be a mean girl. She's going to have her like little fucking stink face while she's walking down the entrance ramp because she knows she's going to lose the fucking match. No more. Make this division be great. Get rid of Britt Baker. It's over.
Yeah, like, you could tell the second she was walking to the ring how pissed she was that she wasn't winning the match. And then when she got in the ring, she's like, oh, get this fucking thing. Let's get this fucking thing started. She literally said that. She said that when she got in the ring after she did a little DMD thing. She was like, oh, okay, let's get this fucking thing started. And I'm like, what? What? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, enough is enough.
But yeah. So, yeah, no more of that Thunder Rosa slander. Because, what she said wasn't wrong. It was the truth.
Yeah.
And you guys were, like, sitting there, like, trying to defame the girl, and she was telling the truth the whole time. Like, it's ridiculous to me. And you also notice Jamie Hayter is as far away from fucking Britt Baker as she can be.
Yep.
So that should tell you something. Get like you gotta get them out. Like, this women's division is too talented to have somebody that is not good. Like, for all I care, she can weigh her options elsewhere. And, maybe go to NXT where they'll force her to actually work on her craft. They'll probably do good for her. But yeah, like, I don't want to go, like, I don't want to go down that path. I'm just going to say, something needs to change. And I agree with you. It does need to change. Like, she should not be in these spots. Especially how this match went. It was awful because of one person, not Mercedes. Mercedes carried it as much as she could, but you can't carry bad. You can't carry suck, right? So, there's that.
You can't you can't. How am I gonna say this without being super mean? You cannot teach someone that doesn't want to be taught.
Right.
At this point now, Britt is wrestling at Allin. She's wrestling arguably one of the biggest women stars of this generation ever, arguably, in Mercedes Mone. She is wrestling someone that is one of 4 women that forced WWE to take women's wrestling seriously. She is one of the first women One of the only. There aren't that many women to main event a WrestleMania.
Yes.
Mercedes is the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no reason that this match should look the way it did. No reason.
Yep. And it's one person that made it look bad.
Literally just Britt Baker. Mercedes did literally everything she could. Mercedes basically wrestled herself.
Yes.
No more Britt Baker. I know I sound harsh. I fully understand that. But at some point, if you want your division to be great, if you want everything that's been happening to continue, you cannot put someone who does not care about the craft of wrestling in a big spot.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been literally anyone else on the roster. Literally. And I'm saying, I'm even going like people who just got signed to like contracts. People like Robin Renegade. People like the girl that we were talking about a couple weeks ago that I said signed, that apparently is signed. The local talent that didn't do anything in her match would have been better here than Britt.
Mm-hmm.
No more. And at this point, Fraud Watch starts with Britt Baker. It's over.
Yep. Like, you can't tell me you're going to pay me 6+ figures, right? To be a pro wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to train my ass off every day to be one of the best in my craft. If I, went that route, I'm not going to have it's not going to be no second back burner thing, right? It's not going to be a fucking hobby. She treats it like a hobby.
Bro, fucking Osprey is considered the best wrestler in the world, and he is better right now than he was when he signed AEW.
Yes.
And he's been considered the best wrestler in the world for like 2 years.
Yes.
He can improve, but Britt can't. Fuck that. No more.
No more. I agree.
I want to keep on going on tirade, but let's continue.
Things.
We have 2 matches left on the card. This one actually will make me calm down a little bit. I'm actually kind of happy with this one. It was the coffin match for the TNT championship between champion Jack Perry and challenger Darby Allin. I would like to say this match went on shorter than I thought it was going to. Mm-hmm. But they beat the shit out of each other.
Yes.
One thing I want to say is people were saying from the last match that people were tired. That's what people were kind of saying, right? Like on Twitter, I was kind of looking after people were talking shit about Britt. People were like, "Oh, the crowd must be really tired." That was not the case.
Nope.
The crowd got very up for this match. There was a point where Jack had the black bag and he poured out glass, and the crowd went crazy.
They went ballistic.
Chanting "Cry Me a River," chanting "Fuck CM Punk." They were going crazy, and Jack was just soaking that shit right in. Because I know Jack has to feel really good about this. Because this time last year, he was in that thing with Punk. He got suspended. He got basically destroyed online for months because we didn't know what happened between him and CM Punk. CM Punk got fired. People blamed Jack for that, which turned Jack into the scapegoat, which made him on this great run that he's been in.
Yep.
But to talk about the end of the match, Jack had bound Darby's arms and tied his legs with a belt, put him in a body bag, dragged him over to the casket, threw him in there. Darby tried to get out, but he couldn't. Threw him in there, and Darby Allin has lost his very first cage match, or his very first coffin match. in AEW.
Yeah.
Before we get into our thoughts, the match ended. Nicholas and Matthew Jackson came out. They had gasoline that they poured all over Darby and on top of the coffin. But then, the icon, the legend,
say it,
the retired Sting comes out.
Yes, sir.
And Sting looks fucking fantastic, bro.
My boy didn't stop working out at all, man.
He didn't. He said, I might not be wrestling no more. I'm gonna stay in shape.
I'm gonna keep being ready just in case. Just in case I might want to help Darby out a little bit.
Sting
play
looked
my Destroy. Play my Metallica real quick.
He looked that. Look, when the first riff of that song hit, Wembley went insane.
They went ballistic.
Oh
dude.
my god. Sting comes walking out. His hair's all nice and dyed. He's fresh. He looks like he lost a couple pounds too. Like we said, he looks good.
My boy looked good, man. Shout out to Sting.
He comes out there. He takes out the Elite. Jack Perry tries to hit Sting with the chair. Sting turns around, looks at him. Jack's like, "My bad, goat," and gets out of the ring as he should. Sting hits some Scorpion death drops.
Yep.
And then he goes to get Darby out of the casket, and they ride off into the sunset. Woo.
Good shit.
The match was short, but it was fun. Prophet, your thoughts?
My thoughts is, thank God for this match after the previous one.
Yeah.
Got me back up, got the crowd back up. Having Sting come out there, the badass song, damn. Yeah, the Jack and Darby Allin beat the shit out of each other. They just beat the hell out of each other, and the whole thing was great. All the moments in the great, all the spots were great. And they did it with, just it's just all part of their big old feud, and it's great. I'm not sure if it's the end of it. It might be
possible,
but if it is, I want to see where both of them are going next, what they're both going to be doing, and the EVPs with their shaved off mustaches coming out, them two goofballs, man. Just everything about this match was great. Like, it's, like when I was saying, when we talked about TNA sometimes,
mm-hmm.
and they have they'll have them short, like 8 to 10 minute matches or something like that. We had a lot of matches on this card that was like 20 plus minutes. This one was kind of like, the palate cleanser. It was like, I think it was about like 10 to 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it was shorter, but it got everything it needed to done in that amount of time, and it was great, and it got the crowd back up. So, for that, yeah, fucking fantastic. What are your thoughts, man?
Man, I love this match. I had a lot of fun watching it. Jack Perry might be one of the smartest wrestlers in his generation, because it is ingenious to be in a casket match or a coffin match and tie up your opponent's arms and legs.
Yeah.
And then put him in something where it's going to be harder for him to get out of the casket when you put him in it.
Yes.
Genius. And then just to see Sting again, I think the match was already good enough to get the crowd back up after the match before, but just the fact that we also got Sting out there, and again, I already said it. Sting looked fucking fantastic, man. Like, Sting could come out here and wrestle for another year again if he really wanted to.
Yeah. No, man, if he wanted to, my boy's ready.
God, bro. And he could be one of the best wrestlers on the card too. Still.
still.
But
He's healing up, he's feeling kind of nice. You never know.
you said he had that little swaggy walk to him too. Like
Yep.
he was walking on air.
Bro, like, come on. It's Sting. He better have that swag.
He deserves it, man.
He deserves it.
The icon for a reason.
Yes, sir.
But now we have to move on.
Okay.
We have to go to the main event of the evening,
Which is my match of the night.
Ooh.
And actually, I'm going to say it's one of my match of the year contenders. I'm just going to flat out say that right now.
Oh, easily. Easily.
This is my match of the night and the match of the year contender. And, maybe at the end of the year, we'll talk about our match of the year contenders. What do you guys think about that?
Ooh, I like that. Y'all let us know what y'all think too. Title versus career. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland's title versus the career of the American Dragon. The greatest wrestler on the planet, said so himself, for the last 20 years, Bryan Danielson.
Oh, let's just put that to bed right now. He is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world and one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yes.
I don't. There's another one. I ain't gonna hear no back talk.
If there's a conversation for, I'm not even gonna say top 5. If there's a conversation for the GOAT of professional wrestling, all eras, Danielson is in that conversation.
Oh yeah, no, by far. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, Bryan Danielson is fucking there. Okay, he's that motherfucker. He's that guy. Right? Like, he is one of the GOATs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that.
Danielson is a man that defined a generation. Danielson is a man that changed WWE. Straight up. They have changed back since, but he had changed WWE for a while. Danielson, easily one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet. Swerve Strickland, listen.
Boy, I'll let you go first.
I need everyone, and I'm talking about everyone. People who doubted Swerve, people who are Swerve supporters, everyone. I need y'all to look at Swerve. I need y'all to really take in that Swerve is about to be one of the greatest of his generation. Straight up. Swerve is so goddamn good.
He's excellent. Like, if you didn't see it in this match, I don't know what you're watching. You probably didn't watch it. If you haven't seen it for the past, since he's become world champion and him working himself up to become world champion, you haven't been watching. I'm just going to say that right now. If you haven't seen any of that, you haven't been watching. If you turn your nose up at it, no, you're full of shit. You haven't been watching.
Hell yeah.
He's one of, he's the guy. He's already cemented himself. He is the guy. Once we get into the match later, but there's something that Taz said to JR. Almost correcting JR. I was like, damn, Taz, okay. It's my boy.
Well, okay. Let's talk about it real quick. There was a point where JR was kind of saying that Swerve still needs to prove himself, and that Swerve, to prove himself as a world champion, he needs to beat Danielson. Go ahead and say what Taz said.
Taz pretty much said, he's like, wait, hold on. Swerve doesn't have to prove anything. He is the world heavyweight champion, and the way I see it is, and the way you should see it is, if you are the world heavyweight champion, you are the guy. You are that guy. If anything, Danielson needs to prove himself to see if he can beat Swerve to become the guy. But when you hold the world heavyweight championship and you are the top of the company, you are the guy. And he had JR backtracking. He's like, oh shit, excuse me.
Yeah, no more Swerve disrespect. Let me get to this match. and then we will continue this praise because I'm pretty sure you do also, but I have so many good things to say about this match.
Oh my god.
It's
so good.
As much as I want to break down this match fully, I won't. I will talk about a couple points. To start, we didn't even talk about entrances. Danielson came out to Final Countdown.
Yes.
Crowd went crazy, as they should. If you've never been in an arena where Final Countdown's on while Bryan Danielson's in there, I can tell you, Prophet and I have. It is, I don't know what it is, but there's like a different feeling and a different aura when you see Bryan Danielson and you hear Final Countdown.
Yeah, it's... all right, okay.
Go ahead.
The only thing I can say is, since it comes from a damn Rocky movie, right? It's one of the songs in a Rocky movie.
Mm-hmm.
You get those vibes every goddamn time he comes out to Final Countdown. Plus, it's a damn good song too.
Yeah.
But it you know, like, he is like, he's pretty much pro wrestling Rocky Balboa, man. So when you hear the song and he's coming out, it's almost like Rocky coming out to fight like Clubber Lang or something, or fighting, you know, Ivan Drago or whatever, right? It's like you hear that shit and you're like, it gives you a couple of emotions. You're amped up because the song is dope as hell, and then it's Bryan Danielson, so you're amped up again because the GOAT is about to do the damn thing.
Hell yeah, man. Danielson came out to Final Countdown. Swerve came out with DJ Who Kid, Bun B, very hip hop. I really enjoyed that. Just as a hip hop head, as a big fan, I was so happy to just see that. Again, we're gonna keep on going through the match because I can stop and break down everything and just be so happy about everything that happened. But just the aura was there. Swerve has that aura. Like Swerve again. Okay, I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm getting to the match. Then we will go back and we will do all that stuff for Danielson and Swerve.
Well, hold on. I'm just gonna say one thing. Swerve, you need to sell that jacket, dude. I need that.
Oh hell yeah! That 8th World Heavyweight Champion. Yes,
I need that fucking jacket, man. AEW. I know one of you motherfuckers is listening. Sell that jacket.
We need a jacket. We need a shirt. Put it on some Under Armour gear, bro.
Like, I need it. I need one. Like, I'm probably gonna look at the merchandise to see if they happen to have that. But damn, man, that shit is dope as hell. And to go with what you were saying about Swerve's entrance, this is something. No, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. This is something that AEW does that WWE doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Say it.
They actually, you know, I'm not even saying, I hate to say it. I'm a black man. You're a black man, right?
Yes.
Watching a show that actually takes into account that, you know, other people watch it. People can have their culture displayed on the show. Feels so fucking good. It looks great. Seeing a Black World Heavyweight Champion do his thing and not be neutered by, you know, a racist creative. And yeah, I'm gonna call it what it fucking is. Okay.
Facts are facts.
Being able to do his thing without having to whitewash himself. He could be himself. He could do his thing. And you get that aura, you get the character, you get everything that you need. And you get everything, you get the full package. AEW, it's one of the things AEW does so fucking good. And I'm so happy that AEW is here, is that they ain't afraid to display all their ethnic groups, all their minorities, and all that, and, you know, and display their culture.
Hell yeah, man.
And do that. So Shout out to AEW. Shout out to Tony Khan for, letting the guys do that. Okay. Now we can get into the match.
Hell yeah, man. It's just, I will talk more about that later. This match, man. It was already emotional because Danielson's career is on the line. They had like a little video before Danielson's entrance. Just production all around has been fantastic. Match starts, crowd's going crazy. Do I want to break down this whole match? No, I'm not going to. Bryan Danielson and Swerve can go back and forth. Swerve is playing it up. Swerve is heelish as heelish can be. There was a point where Swerve drags Danielson out and does the BCC style kicks to Danielson in front of Danielson's family, scares Danielson's daughter. And while that's happening, Nana's doing the dance next to them too. Just incredible. Swerve played up being a heel here because he knew what he had to do. He was not trying to be no tweener here. He knew he had to play up being the bad guy here. And boy, did he. Danielson was bleeding. There was a point where Swerve did a DVD on the apron to the ring bell while Danielson with the ring bell. Just vicious. Eventually Danielson, he came back, played up that babyface underdog fire as only somehow Bryan Danielson can do, because Danielson also can play the underdog better than anyone. He also can play a bully better than anyone. This time he was the underdog. He came in, did what he had to do. There was a point where he tried to hit Swerve with the Busaiku knee, but Swerve just kind of tanked it, and he like wiped his chest off. Just,
And he was laughing.
There was another point where Swerve is starting to kick Danielson, and Danielson's like, "I'm sorry to my family." He's like, "I'm sorry," reaching out to his family. But then Danielson like locks in. Like, I don't know what, he looked at his family. He locks in. Swerve is kicking him in the chest. Danielson's getting up. And while Danielson's getting up, he's not even looking at Swerve. He's looking at his family. And Danielson's yelling, saying, "I love you guys so much. I love you guys so fucking much." Bro, I almost fucking died. Danielson gets into it. And eventually, actually, no, before we get into the end, fucking Hangman Adam Page,
A wild Hangman has appeared
out of literally nowhere, comes through the crowd. He beats up the security that's by the ring. He takes Nana, he throws Nana down, and he looks at Swerve, and he's yelling at Swerve. Security gets in there and gets him out of there in time, but Hangman is yelling. Swerve's looking at him yelling also. Thankfully, that didn't like lead into the end of the match. Like, the match didn't end like a second after that. Hangman was just there. Eventually, Bryan Danielson hit the Busaiku knee to the back of Swerve. Swerve hits the turnbuckle. Swerve then gets trapped in the label lock.
Yep.
And Swerve taps after a fight. Swerve tried to get out. Danielson like kind of broke his fingers to put him back in there. Swerve taps. Bryan Danielson is the AEW World Champion.
Yes.
Afterwards, the BCC, including Pac, for whatever goddamn reason, comes out. They snatch up Danielson's family. They all go in the ring together. Danielson's in there playing with his kids. He's hugging his daughter. He almost puts his son in the Tiger Driver or like something, and like Bree stops him. Danielson just looks so happy, and they're celebrating with the family. And in the back of my mind, I know you're about to say it too.
Yep.
I was afraid because I seen the story before. I thought Christian was gonna come out, take that title. I am very happy he didn't. They just let the moment play. Danielson got his moment. He got to enjoy it in the ring with his family. And the show ends.
Yeah.
Prophet, your thoughts?
Man. Oh, man. Oh, man. This match had everything you could possibly want.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic wrestling. The story leading up to this match, the drama and all that stuff, everything leading up to this match and was fantastic. It was great. It was one of those still, does he still have it type deal, right? Can he do it? Is his mind out? Still thinking about retiring. But there was a few interesting things that happened outside of it. Bree was like, no, we don't want him to retire. We want him to end on his own terms, unlike, where he was before.
Mm-hmm.
She took a shot at somebody, a certain company,
Mm-hmm.
in a way. So this is one of those matches where both wrestlers are at the highest level. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Swerve is at the highest level, and he completely showed it. He fucking killed it. Bryan Danielson, as we said before, the GOAT. And they just put on a fucking classic. This is literally like in the past, I would say in the past 10 years, this is one of my favorite matches of all time.
Yeah, man.
I love this match so much. Like, Swerve just being the bad guy, man. Like, just being the complete villain. We could talk about this on the anime podcast when we do it. But there's something about a villain trying to be cool. That's a real villain.
Mm-hmm.
Villains ain't cool. They're pieces of shit. Right?
Yeah.
And Swerve was doing that shit to a T. It was perfect. Like, everything about this match was damn near perfect. I have no nitpicks about it. I'm gonna watch it again, probably tomorrow. Oh man, like, I had goosebumps watching the match. I had goosebumps from the entrance, from both of their entrances being so amazing, to like the ending of the match. It was just like, oh man, like, I can't say enough good things. It was good to the point where there's some things I can't articulate right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did their thing, man, and it was good. It was beyond good. It was excellent. It was one of the best ways to cap off a already fantastic show. Oh man, yeah. There was a lot of things during the match that was just, Swerve tanking the hits, just walking right through, pretty much having a Broly moment. Fucking Swerve turned into Broly for a second, bro.
Bro.
He just tanked the move and then just went on and went back in. Danielson was trying everything to break him down. And Swerve, he was in there the whole time. He could have won at any time. He hit how many house calls?
Mm-hmm.
I think he hit like 4 or 5.
I think so.
Like, he hit like 2 in the back of the head, 2 in front of him. Like, he hit the house call. He hit his what is the other?
Oh, big pressure.
Big pressure. And this match was like the perfect battle of wills. Who was going to break first? And, the first person that broke, well, Danielson did break first.
He did.
Second. And then he looked at his family and he got powered up, and then he got the Swerve, and then Swerve broke last, and that was the one that he broke last and broke the hardest. So yeah, this match was nothing short of excellent. It was excellence from the beginning to the end. So like two masters of their craft doing the damn thing, and they're the reason why Swerve got that 7-figure paycheck. He wrestled his ass off tonight.
Oof.
So did Danielson. And it was good to see Bree out there too. At the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was just hoping a Josh Alexander thing didn't happen where he had his family in the ring and then the guy cashed in, Moose cashed in, fucking speared him and took the title. I was like, oh no. But when the BCC came in, I was like, oh, Christian don't want none of that.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It was over.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. It was fantastic.
Oh man, I'm gonna start with Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be very honest. Swerve, this title reign was like 4 months, 5 months maybe.
Yeah.
This is a top 3 AEW World Championship title run.
Easy.
I think the only run that might be better is you could say either the Kenny's run as world champion with belt collector. You might even be able to say Mox's run when in front of no crowds, his first AEW World Championship run.
Yeah.
But no matter what, Swerve's this run is a top 3 run.
Oh yeah, and this run cemented it. This run cemented it for him. And to your point, and actually to a point we've made a while ago when we talked about Samoa Joe's run, right?
Mm-hmm.
The run doesn't have to be long.
No,
you don't need like a 2-3 year run, right? You could get it just as much of an effective run. Shit, he's had it for 4 months, and it was an effective run. It is a memorable run, and the end of his run is even more memorable. So, yeah,
just incredible. If you've, like we said at the top of this section, if you've ever doubted Swerve at any point, especially over the last year, if you watch this match, if you watch this title reign, and you don't see Swerve as a world champion, or if you don't think he's of that caliber, if you don't think he's one of the greatest wrestlers of his generation, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Swerve is fantastic. And we got to see him build himself up to be a world champion. Like, he wasn't handed this. He had to go through hurdles. He had to go through the stuff with Keith Lee. He had to deal with what happened with the World Tag Team titles with the Acclaimed, and him being basically ousted out of that because the Acclaimed were the hot shit at the time. There was a lot of things that were going against Swerve, and Swerve built himself up. Swerve became a champion. Swerve became the champion that AEW needed at the time that they needed him. Fantastic. Swerve can fit into any box that you need him to fit in. If you need him to be the first match in a card for the World Championship, he can do that. If you want him to be in the main event in front of 50,000 people, he can do that. If you want him to be like a buffer match in between something to make sure that he's good, he can do that. You want him to be the face, he can do that. You want him to be the villain, he can do that. You want him to make the crowd love him, he can do that. Swerve can do anything in this ring. It's time to give him his respect.
Yeah, give him his respect, because he's the guy. He is the shit. And he's going to have that world title again.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't know who's going to get it. But whoever does, when Swerve's coming after you, you're going to lose it. And he's going to do it the most dirty way possible.
Mm-hmm. Hangman better watch out because I think I'm damn sure Swerve and Hangman is next again.
Ooh, I can't wait.
And then let me go to Danielson because there was a podcast a few weeks ago when Danielson won the Owen Hart, and I was very hype. I'm still very hype. I'm still very happy that Danielson is a world champion. He definitely should be world champion. He definitely should have been world champion before. He shouldn't have been an asshole and not wanting to take the championship. He definitely could have beat MJF for it. He definitely could have beat Hangman for it. At any point, he could have been world champion. But Danielson is literally one of the nicest people on the planet. He didn't want it. I am very happy that he's forced to be world champion now. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know how much longer we're going to get Danielson. But like Swerve, Danielson's already seen as like one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. We should just appreciate this time that we have with him, because before you know, he's gonna be gone. There was a point in the press conference where Dave Meltzer was trying to like get Danielson's daughter to be like, "Hey, do you want to go to Australia? You want to go to Japan?" Trying to get, because she's the reason why Danielson's gonna be retiring, which is, I respect it. I respect it. But man, just Danielson, like we said already, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I'm very happy to see him as world champion. We don't know what's gonna happen next. He said he doesn't know what's gonna happen next. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. He's wrestling without a contract right now. He said he's not gonna sign another one. I fully believe that he's not gonna sign another one. We will see what happens. But I am very happy to see Bryan Danielson as a champion in this great match that they had. A match fitting to be the All-In Wembley main event.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. He's gonna sign some type of contract. TK ain't gonna let him go anywhere else.
At this point, the whole world is trying to convince Danielson's daughter to let him wrestle for a little bit longer. That's what it is. I can tell you right now, Swerve probably did a bad job of that. That child was scared throughout half that match. So, I Swerve, as great as you are, you got to calm down a little bit because we need the child to be very happy with wrestling. The happier she is, the longer we get Danielson to wrestle.
She was happy at the end.
She was happy at the end.
And you know what? That he had to be a true villain. And probably in the back, he was probably, how they all meet up in the back at the end. Probably either apologize or something, or they talked about it being the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, this main event is easily one of the best main events of an AEW pay-per-view ever. I can't think of many matches that are better than this one. I can't think of many matches that delivered a story in the main event like this one did.
Go
ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead. You know how they always go, "Oh, is it time yet to say this match was greater than this one?"
Go ahead and say it.
This match, Swerve versus Bryan Danielson, is not only better, greater, and at the top, one of the best matches ever, but it is better and greater than Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, I saw someone say it on Twitter, and I was like, that's not even like a hot take. That's just a fact. Like,
yeah, it's a fact.
Yeah,
it's not even close. The Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes thing is trash. Oh, there I go. I can't help myself.
But either way, I think this was just a fantastic main event. This was the best way to cap off the night. We got the happy ending. As much as I am sad that Swerve is not world champion anymore, he lost it on a very high note. I'm very excited to see what Swerve does next. I'm very curious to see where we go with Danielson now, because I don't expect Danielson to have that title by the end of the year. We will see what happens though.
Yeah. Well, we know where Swerve's going next, right? He's Him and Hangman are going to kill each other in like the next 2 months.
Yep.
That's just where it's going, right? But he's coming out of this title thing, and he's going to be riding high again with another high class or high level feud. So Swerve's fine, and he just signed a 7-figure deal.
Mm-hmm.
He good.
Yeah, he good.
My boy riding good.
But man, that was the show.
Man, it was a hell of a show, man.
You have any final thoughts? Anything you want to talk about the show in general?
I'm just gonna say, if you guys haven't watched the show, watch the show. It was a damn good show. There was that one match that I'm not gonna talk about it. If you heard the show, you already know.
Yeah.
But besides that, the show was damn good. Even 0 Hour was good. Catch 0 Hour if you want. A good hour of good shit. Good wrestling. Yeah, and I'm glad for all the guys that were, all the people that were able to get on the card. The 10-man, the 16-man. Shit, our boy Big Sat got on there.
Yeah,
so,
man.
So yeah, man, like it was good top to bottom. I can't complain, and it ended in one of the greatest main events of all time.
Yeah, man. I echo what you say. This is, I think, top to bottom, including the TBS title match, even though that was kind of like I think this was probably one of my favorite shows ever. I think. I only can think of a couple shows that I think were better, quote unquote. I don't even want to say better. Better's not even the right word. That could relate to this, but this Allin, just fantastic card, top to bottom. The returns that we got were great. The surprise entrants that we got were great. Seeing people like Nigel and Ricochet, seeing Jaimie Hayter come back, just fantastic.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see where it all leads. Right, like it's pretty much the start of the new season. It's really going to heat up after All Out. So yeah, I can't wait. It's just going to all lead up to that.
Also, real quick, we got to give a shout out because we have to do this. All Out last year ended in a lot of controversy because there was a lot of shit going on backstage. There was a lot of toxic shit going on. That did not happen this year. This year felt like a celebration.
Yes, as it should have last year. But, CM Skunk, of course, had to stink up the place.
Had to fucking ruin everything.
And, there's somebody on another, podcast, licking his balls right now, Mark Henry. Trying to say CM Punk wasn't the problem. Yeah, he was. Anyways, we tell like it is on this podcast. We ain't gonna sugarcoat the shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this show felt really good. There was no drama. There was no controversies or any of that other bullshit that the unfortunate European media was trying to create at the post show. They can all fuck off because of that.
Fucking stupid.
But anyways, yeah, and you felt it. Like all the wrestlers out there, minus Britt Baker, were genuinely happy to be there, happy to do their thing in front of 50,000 people. You don't get that all the time. So, yeah, it was great.
With that, I think we're done. As much as I kind of want to talk about the show a lot more, I'm not gonna lie, but I think we've done our job.
Yeah. So, all right. Want me to end it?
Take us home, Prophet.
All right, guys. Once again, if you listen this far, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And if you like the podcast, just drop us a like. Hit that like button. It ain't gonna hurt you. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Yeah.
And, if you want to talk with us, for sure, comment. And you know what to do. I'm gonna wink, hint, hint, wink, wink you. Subscribe. Because it helps us out and get you our content a hell of a lot faster. So thank you guys once again, and we're out.
Peace.